I recently recorded a video on BitChute, which I welcome you to watch if you're interested. YouTube gave me a 1-week hiatus, forced hiatus, because they didn't like something that I said. So I'm going to skillfully skirt around the topic that is forbidden here. Although it's strange to me because this is a topic that Russell Brand has discussed directly and Project Veritas has discussed directly, and they're still around, and I'm glad they're still around, don't get me wrong, but I'm wondering why I'm getting the boot when or getting the brunt of the censorship when I'm much lower on the totem pole than either of those channels. But anyway, I'm going to talk about what I talk about in that BitChute video, but I'm going to more gingerly massage what I have to say, or be more circumlocucious about the subject of what I have to say there. In that video, I refer back to something that I saw several months ago when the Baj was first a thing, and there were questions about what was in it, and I make reference to this video because in this video, one Catholic apologist, and gosh, I really don't want this to become a Catholic thing or an anti-Catholic thing, or whatever it is. Please don't make that into the focus of this. It's a focus for me, just because, partly because I'm Catholic, and also because apologetics is a matter that is of interest to me. Apologetics meaning trying to adapt what is Orthodox Catholic theology, or Orthodox, if you want to just make it ecumenical, Christian theology to the issues of the day. And this one particularly was about the Baj. Now, in this video, which I will refer you to, you've got the Catholic podcaster Matt Fradd, and he's talking to Jimmy Akin. Jimmy Akin works for Catholic Answers. And in this conversation that they have, Jimmy Akin says, well, this whole issue of aborted fetuses is not really an issue. It's not an issue because it was not, they were not used in any way in the making of the Baj for two major companies. He says it was for another of the companies that's less major. There's four of them out there, but two of the major ones, and I'm avoiding naming anybody just because I'm wanting to keep this general as possible, and gingerly massage what I'm talking about, even though I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. What struck me then, even when I was listening to it at the time, when it was contemporary 8 months ago, was that he was saying that he was stating for a fact that aborted fetuses were not used. And I was thinking to myself, something in the back of my head was saying to myself, how do you know that is true? How do you know? If the answer is, well, we were told that is true, then that's all you know. All you know is what you were told by the PR department of these companies. And that's really what I believe Jimmy Akin, Catholic apologist Jimmy Akin, should have said in this situation. He should have said, we were reassured, we have been reassured by the people who spoke to us from these companies that there was no fetal tissue used in any way. But he didn't put it that way, did he? Well, you don't know because you haven't seen the video. I'll link to the video. But I'm telling you that he said, he didn't say they told us that. He said this is the case. This is the way it is with this with these forms of the Baj, these particular companies' versions of the stuff that aborted fetuses are not a part of it. Well, now, because of Project Veritas and their intrepid reporting, it would seem that is not so. If in case you don't know about that, I'll link to that video as well here. But there were so many different levels of failure with this. I mean, I don't want to be too. I don't want to focus too heavily on this one guy, except for this one Catholic apologist, except for the fact that I thought even at the time that it was not responsible to say categorically there is no this in the stuff, right? I thought at the time, how do you know that? How do you? I mean, doesn't it just involve you trusting someone else's word? Why should we take their word for it? Why should we trust their word for it? And here's another thing to take this to another level. Now it's been said in this sort of way of looking at these the efficacy or the permissibility of using these of getting yourself stuffed with this stuff, of getting the Baj. It's been said, well, even from the company that did admit to using aborted fetuses, those were fetuses that were already had already been killed in the womb, and so therefore they weren't killed in the womb for the purpose of funding this this effort. So even though even though it's not there's something definitely morally queasy about the fact that they even used aborted fetuses for experimentation's sake. At the same time, he made the distinction between lines of fetuses that were killed a long time ago or some time ago, and who are now being used for this experimentation, and a distinction between that and fetuses that would be killed in the womb simply for the sake of helping with this experiment. Okay, so he said, there's, even though it can and should make us queasy to think that they used these dead babies, let's just call them what they are, for their research. It's not that it was not a murderous enterprise because the babies weren't killed for the purpose of formulating this stuff. But I'm thinking now, how do we even know that? Right? How do we even know that? If they lied to us, if they weren't telling us the full truth, and again, see the Project Veritas whistleblower and the emails that were exposed, that makes it pretty clear that they were lying to us about that. How the hell do we know that they're not lying to us when they say that the fetuses that were used were not killed for the purpose of creating this this stuff. How do we trust them with it? How do we trust them on any level? How do you trust a liar? You know, somebody from the PR department, the marketing department of a corporation that has a sketchy history, to say the least. And again, I'm not naming any names here, just because I've got to make sure. Even though Russell Brand can do it and Project Veritas can do it, Andy Nowicki apparently, you know, has to watch himself. So anyway, so how do we know they're not lying about that too? We don't. We absolutely don't. And I think it is very irresponsible for for people whose career is Catholic apologism, which is to say their career is to try to explain to laymen, you know, when you've got a thorny situation with where there's a possible things that are possibly morally illicit and things that are possibly cross the line into being morally illicit. To just trust them, to trust what they say, and then to tell others, look, this is the case. To say, basically, to do the PR people's job for them, and not to question them, and not to say, this is what they told us, but it's not. We're not, but we don't know for sure. But this is what they told us, which is what he should have said all along. But he didn't. And that's the big failure here, I think. So let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. And again, I'll leave both of the links to both of those videos that I make reference to below as well. Thanks for watching.